Greetings, all you Metamaniacs. This is Team G, and today, good old Maurice and I, with the help of Rebel enthusiast Chill, are going to walk you through a CLS counter to Darth Revan.
That's right, guys. CLS, Thrawn, C-3PO, Han, and Chewie. You need one blazing fast set on your CLS, very comparable to what you see on Darth Revan himself. 2 speed sets to go along with it, and then also 2 high damage sets for your Han and Chewie. The strength of the opposing Revan team is totally dependent on your CLS's speed, and it is a little higher degree of difficulty, but Chill is here to discuss all the finer mechanics of the team, really walk you guys through, hopefully giving you an alternate answer to Darth Revan in your Grand Arena and Territory Wars.
Chill, who is the creator of this team, along with some of his friends from the Rebel server. You can find Chill and his Rebel expertise in the Rebel Discord server. You'll find a link to that in the description below. You'll find a link also to our Discord server, as well as our Patreon. You're welcome to check that out and hopefully sign up and support us and get some workshops in exchange for your contribution to the channel. Additionally, we welcome you to subscribe to the video and touch the little alert button so that you can get alerted to future videos, and to like this one if you found it useful. A special extra shout out to Chill. Thank you so much for the countless battles you've done to hone this team, and thanks for sharing it with us and the community. All right, now for our interview with Chill. So Chill, tell me a little bit about how you developed this team and why you don't have Darth Revan running an arena, right? Like, this is your primary arena team.
Right. Like with CLS, TM will outrun speed pretty much every time. You know, like if you can get your TM in close enough, your speed will go faster. Now, when Darth Revan came out, it was pretty easy, but then Malak kind of changed the whole dynamic of the arena, especially for this Rebel team. We tried really hard to keep it all straight Rebel. I know for a week I probably ran R2, and then we just found that Thrawn helped us control Malak a little bit better.
Yeah. Okay, that's good that you said that. A lot of people are asking, why not R2? You know, we've done a couple videos recently. Why not R2? Why not R2? So that's a good. I'm glad you said that. So you feel that Thrawn is a better fit for the team than R2?
Yeah, especially when you get into the stronger Malaks. Like, if everything's kind of same speed, same mod set kind of deal, R2 will allow you to beat like a 5 Malak with 1 Zeta. The consistency wasn't there, though.
Good info. Okay, cool.
So,
yes, definitely.
So tell us a little bit about the team. What's kind of like the modding in general? What Zetas are required and which are optional?
Yeah, CLS is definitely, you want to go with speed and offense and make him as fast as possible. Han is crit damage and offense, and I found about 220 speed is where I want to be with him. Chewbacca, I went with an offensive set because I want him also with speed about 230, and I don't have the crit damage set that can get me that fast. I do know people running crit damage, and they're running like the 222% at about 4,500 offense. I'm running my Chewie at about 5,600 offense right now. Then Thrawn, you want his speed to be about 290, and you want to put protection and health on him. 3PO, you want to do speed, you want him about 265. He gets another 20 from his unique. So when you get your turn order, you want it to go Han, CLS, 3PO, Thrawn, and then after that you can let it kind of go how it's going to go, because you don't have quite the control with TM gain as you do with just like doing your speed sets. I found like with Thrawn, if it gets down to like 289, it sets me back like a block. 289 to 290, it's like I'm actually outrunning about 4 more speed above. You know, you get that 5% TM compared to just extra speed.
Yeah, I noticed, you introduced this team to us, and so I was testing it out, and I had success with it, but I found that sometimes having a too fast Thrawn as well can kind of be detrimental to the turn order and flow. Do you find this correct?
Yeah, and that's why I'm going from like 289 and 290, and actually that's what I dropped it back, because I definitely want 3PO to go third,
right,
because it allows all this extra TM gain just from all the multiple attacks. You know, it's like so I started moving that stuff around, but I did find with the faster Darth Revans and Malaks that sometimes I wouldn't outrun with the Thrawn at 289, where I was consistently more outrunning at 290.
Gotcha. So there is a fine tipping point in this team.
Yeah, there was about 2 weeks of me playing with mods and doing about 25 battles a day. You know, I mean, there was a lot of like definitely tuning of the mods for me.
I think back to Jedi Knight Revan and the counters we had for that team, and you know, nothing was a hard counter, and I think that's what we kind of just have to settle on as a community. You know, you're not going to find a counter for Darth Revan that takes your third tier mods.
Well, it's like I've heard y'all say that before. You know, with the you know, the kits have gotten so complicated, so it does take, you know, your top notch stuff. What I found with this though is it allows me to open up a lot more of my other tunes, like my Jedi Knight Revan, mostly for like TW, like so I can go in and take out a Malak squad that is like an equal speed to mine, and it's like a 90-95% chance that I'm going to win that fight. And then I'm also still able to take out like a 300 plus speed Jedi Knight Revan with a mirror match, you know, like, which is very helpful in my guild, which is about 180, which I'm going to shout out Rebel Legion.
Absolutely. And that's the nice thing about these counter teams is they beat everything, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, that's what I tell people that all the time. I find the CLS is like the old Night Sisters. And how we used to run Night Sisters against everything to win offensively. Offensively, it's doing the same thing at this point.
Let's go over the Zetas, the required ones, and the optional ones.
So with CLS, you definitely need Rebel Maneuvers and all things that bind. Learn Control is very, very helpful, but it's not a necessity. Like, you don't have to have it. It definitely helps, and it definitely balances out your consistency a little bit more. With Chewie, you will need both Loyal Friend and Raging Wookiee. 3PO, you really only need Oh My Goodness. Also with 3PO, like, if you can get enough protection and health on him so that CLS and Han are getting guard, I don't even think you really need him at 7-star or gear 12, you know. I ran it at gear 11 for a while. With Han, you got to have shoot first.
So Han Solo and CLS, it's mandatory that they're guarded for this comp, right? Like,
right. Yeah, that's why I put protection and health on 3PO and Thrawn, just to get them above. Yeah, which is pretty standard. That's the same thing you're running for the Jedi Knight Revan counter also.
Okay. Yeah, it's nice that it's pretty similar. Hey, what do you see differences between the Jedi Knight Revan and the Darth Revan one, other than a lot more speed on CLS?
A lot more speed. For Jedi Knight Revan, I also use R2 instead. I find that to be a little cleaner. I can win with Thrawn, but it's definitely a little more touch and go. But sometimes I'm like lazy and I just start fighting whatever's in front of me because I hate moving mods and stuff around.
Well, a lot of people do. I mean, a lot of people like to set it and forget it. And this sounds like a team that you're using to beat, you know, arguably, well, the two best teams in the game at this point. So yeah. that is something to keep in mind for anyone listening. You know, if you just want to utilize your best mod sets and just be equipped for lots of scenarios, this is a good team to do so. Something that I noticed, and I've run this team, a very unorthodox beginning to the match. You target either HK-47 or you target Sith Trooper. Can you kind of explain to us how you decide which character to use Han's initial opening move on?
This team revolves around Darth Revan's squad resisting exposed. So I'm going for the most tenacity, you know, character that I can go against that's not Dark Side Bastila, because when you hit her, you start TM pumping their team once you start giving her you know, debuffs. I look to see which one has a higher tenacity. I also have to realize that HK gets like 50% tenacity with one of his uniques. Most of the time I hit HK unless Sith Trooper has, you know, over 100% tenacity. I want those resist because that gets my speed out and going. So like if I'm going against something that's the same speed, I'm going to outrun it. What I've found is if I get one resist, I'm able to go about 4 speed higher. If I can get 2 resists, you know, I can go 4 speed higher than that. And if I can get 3 resists, because I have 3 chances at a resist every time you know, between Han shooting twice and Chewie, it'll allow me to go about 12 speed faster than what I'm at.
That's a nice rule of thumb rather than breaking out the calculator.
Like, I don't get into doing the math that much. So mine's been a lot from just trial and error and seeing what worked. Like I said, I was doing about 25 bites a day, just refreshing and refreshing. Those were the numbers that I found. When we broke it down, you're looking at about 2%. It is faster than you is what you can comfortably and consistently go after at probably about an 80 to 85% win rate.
You find the turn order to be pretty consistent. The binds all things doesn't kind of get your turn order out of whack.
For the most part, with where I have my speeds now, yes. Now, there will be times that, like, Thrawn outruns my 3PO. And what I do with that at that point in time is as Han goes, CLS goes. And then with 3PO, I put translate on Han, and they attack again. And then Thrawn goes, and then I swap turn meter with Han, which allows me to do his second special, which also gives me another attack right after that. So if that gets messed up, instead of swapping TM with Han, I swap TM with 3PO because it gives me more opportunities to get exposes resisted.
Now, are there any teams or certain types of builds that you've encountered that you struggle with? Like maybe perhaps like Sith Marauder instead of Sith Trooper or something of that nature?
Not Sith Marauder. There's a guy who runs one in my shard that has like Revan and GMY in there. There's nobody to hit with like high tenacity when they do that. So if his Revan's also like 3, it's hard for me to get like my turn meter going. And then I've also found if Bastilas start to get above 50k health, it starts kind of messing up the amount of attacks that you're distributing between Bastila and HK, and it definitely makes it a little bit more sketchy.
So we've talked a little bit about the turn order. You're hitting HK or Sith Trooper, just depending on tenacity first. And then I guess the question is, who do you fracture?
If you fracture too early, you'll outrun the fracture kind of. And if you get like 3 tunes and he's out of fracture, you're probably going to end up losing. We found is that if we TM swap with Han, it gives you a ton of extra attacks because it allows you to get into his special that also allows him 100% turn meter. And then he goes again and you got Chewie going with it. So we TM swap the first time with him, keep going. And then you'll want to fracture Malak to kind of control him while you're killing Sith Trooper and Darth Revan.
There's a lot of that, and that's what was so attractive to me personally about this team. There's so many unorthodox moves and
a lot of nuances. Like there's a lot of it's not like a team you can just go in and like the Biston team that you created with CLS. You could go in, you did your first few moves, and then you just killed. And the JKR team too. Like the first few moves are important, and then you just murder. But it seems like this one's more like there's a lot of things that you've obviously at 25 arena battles a day you've figured out.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like so definitely. Another big thing is not AoEing Chewie, because you'll start activating Malak's taunt. Plus, you can also get fear on Chewie, and then he's not attacking, and it's really killing your damage.
Yeah, I mean, you showed me the team, so naturally I tried to replicate it, and I peppered you with questions for a while, and you mentioned that, and I was doing that. I was trying to AoE with Chewie first, you activate, because if Malak goes early, it's done. It's a wrap.
Yeah, and if you Darth Revan goes or Bastila goes before you kill Bastila, it's also it gets ugly really fast if it goes wrong. But like either way, you either win or lose, and it's over in 50 seconds. like you know what I mean? Like there's no.
I got a lot of testing in very, very quickly initially. It was just whoops, wrong move, game over. Whoops, wrong.
Right.
whoops. It took me a few times. I will say that the degree of difficulty on this team is higher than some of the other teams we've suggested in the past. But once you get it, you get it. You like,
right.
Oh. It just, I'm sure for you, if this is your daily arena team, it's just like clockwork. Well, I think it's great for very competitive Grand Arena players. If you scout your player out and you see that they have a slower Darth Revan, you could potentially set both of your Revans and tackle their opposing Darth Revan with your CLS or their Jedi Revan. Either one they place, you can kind of be prepared for both, as you mentioned. So
Right.
anything that allows you to play stronger defenses is a great team. So this is this is fantastic, man. Thank you so much for all this information, for providing all the footage, for really bringing this to our attention. I think this is going to help a lot of people in the community. So thank you very much for your time, man.
Yeah. Thank you guys for having me.
So, Chill, tell us a little bit about your Rebels Discord server and the community that you developed this team with.
Yeah, it's called Rebel Scum. You know, it has pretty much all the Rebel squads. They even have like an R1 like specific thing. We even have like a Lobot specific area you can go into. And just people who love the Rebel. There's a lot of very good information and very creative people in there.
Oh, I know. I was super stoked. I didn't know there were too many of us Rebel fans left. I'm one of them. You told me about the server, and I instantly asked for the link. So it's
right.
Very knowledgeable people in there. You guys should definitely check that out. We'll leave links for that Rebel server below in the description of this video. Well, Chill, thanks so much for sharing this team with us and allowing us a chance to show it to the community. Thank you to the Rebel Scum server as well. Thank you guys all for watching this. I hope it helps you guys out and gives you an alternate option to tackle the, as Jill said, the two toughest teams in the game in both Darth Revan and Jedi Knight Revan.